Max Verstappen's future with Red Bull has been brought up again because the four-time world champion is now facing some really big problems as they head into the 2025 season. Helmut Marko has talked about a special part in Max's contract, and since these two guys are super close friends in their personal lives, what this veteran Austrian man says should make us really worried. With the 2026 rule changes coming up soon, could we see another huge mess at Red Bull? And if that happens, what's next for both the team and Verstappen? There's no doubt that Verstappen has been one of the most talked about topics over the past year, especially since the RB20 car started showing problems that have now carried over to the RB21 car. Lawson was replaced after just 2 races, which is a decision that Max wasn't very happy about at all. Everyone in the F1 world understands that the problem isn't with the driver. It's with the car. This is why they promoted Tsunoda very early in the 2025 season, because fixing the RB21 car will be the main goal for the Red Bull drivers in the next few races. But if they can't find a cure for the tire wearing out too fast and the overall problems with how the car handles, Max will very likely look for a new team for his career. This has been talked about by Helmut Marko, who is the special advisor at Red Bull, and now believes there's a very strong chance that we're going to see Max leave Red Bull because of how poorly they're performing. Every top driver has a special clause in his contract that lets him leave, and it's something that both Marko and Horner have been talking about very loudly in public. When talking about it more, the veteran Austrian guy shared his fears that we might be looking at a very hard time ahead for Red Bull. He said, "Upgrades are needed for Max to win his 5th world title. That is our big goal, and the whole team is working really hard on it." Of course, every top driver has a clause to leave if the car isn't performing well, but they are all written differently. This isn't something we're talking about right now. The exit clause could become a hot topic again around summer, but please, remember we are 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship, only 8 points behind 1st place. The summer break is still a long way away. Also, Marko has confirmed that if Verstappen is no longer part of the team, then there's no job for him anymore with the Austrian team either. The time limit for Red Bull to fix the problems with the RB21 car has been set for summer, which is still a long way to go. But on the other hand, it would definitely mean that they will lose a lot of ground when it comes to fighting in both championship categories. McLaren seems impossible to catch with the speed they've shown in the first 2 races. And if the first upgrades don't work like they're supposed to, then Max's amazing talent can only do so much. There are a couple of things that are very clear right now. Red Bull is struggling badly, and Max is putting all of his energy into trying to guide the engineers to work in the right direction. But a very strong fact that has been admitted by Marko is that Verstappen is not very happy with the team's decisions to demote Lawson after just 2 races instead of focusing on making the car better. Even though the official statement from the team said that Tsunoda's promotion was brought in precisely to achieve this goal, when talking about how happy Max is with the latest things happening at Red Bull, Helmut has said, "We know Max is not happy, but we need 2 cars at the front. Not only for the Constructors' Championship, but also to help Max get his 5th world title." It's funny to see that we are expecting a completely different Yuki this year. He has made no mistakes in the first few weeks. He is fast, has new management, and is full of confidence. The situation at Red Bull has been very difficult ever since Newey left. And although the entire trust of the team shouldn't fall on just one person, it's likely the case with the Austrian team. Yes, Adrian didn't have a lot of influence on the RB20 car, but once the car started showing problems in its development, the team would have given anything to have his input about potential solutions. And to make things even worse, Marko admitted that Red Bull is missing Newey a lot because he would have been really helpful in the process of making the car much more competitive for Verstappen. When talking about this, which is, by the way, another strong reason why Max would think about leaving Red Bull in the first place, Marko said, "Of course we are missing a man like that. A Newey is a Newey, but we are a team of almost 1,000 people. The crew behind him was built up slowly over time. It is true that the RB21 is difficult to drive. The Racing Bull car is easier to handle and very fast on a qualifying lap, but in the race it falls way behind the Red Bull racing car. And here is a very sad statement about Red Bull. The team has gone from winning 21 out of 22 races in 2023 to now comparing their car with their sister team and wondering which one has stronger performance over one lap. I know what's in your mind. The comparison has been made as an explanation for Lawson's demotion, but the fact that the team has reached this point is really sad to say the least. And if you were Max, you would of course be mad that the team isn't listening to anything you have to say, but instead would search for a second driver who would magically find performance out of the car. This would be more than enough for you to leave and go to a team that is getting better, a team that seems to have fixed their performance problems and does stand as the second strongest force in the Constructors' Championship right now, and of course that is Mercedes. The combination of Russell and Antonelli is one that Wolff has put a lot of trust in. But on the other hand, if the opportunity is presented in front of the Austrian team boss, I really doubt that he'd have the same attitude. Throughout the series Drive to Survive, we saw that he is very committed to bringing Max into his team. And although that story changed once Max put his commitment to Red Bull again, it's very likely that this could come back around again. On the other hand, if you were to ask Wolff about the future of his drivers lineup, you would meet a very diplomatic response that did leave a small opening for Verstappen, in terms of his drivers having to meet certain requirements before they're given longer-term contracts, and regarding the rumors that Max is going to be a part of Mercedes soon, Wolff said that the long-term contract they are preparing for Russell is going to put a stop to all of these talks, but what is worth mentioning is that his commitment wasn't as big as it was a couple of months ago, when everything was on the table. When talking about this, he said, "It's almost an open secret that we want to keep our drivers for the long term. We don't make every discussion we have with the drivers public, and that's why this is going in the direction it should be going. But such a contract is more than just giving the driver the guarantee that he will be in the car. There are conditions that you have to discuss in the interest of the team and the driver. So it's a structured process. This is why the statement from Zak Brown shouldn't be taken as a cheap shot towards Red Bull when the boss of McLaren has started to talk about the future of the four-time world champion. According to Zak, Mercedes has the biggest chance of signing Verstappen as early as 2026, and a very good advantage they have in getting Max's services is their engine. The new rules will help Mercedes and Ferrari a lot more compared to the other teams. And even though we are going to see other teams being really competitive as well, it's definitely not going to be the same as the experience that these two teams have. When giving his own opinion on Max's future beyond 2026 and the new rules, Zak Brown said, I think Max will leave at the end of this year, most likely to Mercedes. There's been talk of Aston Martin too, with Adrian Newey joining, but as great as Adrian is, and he is the greatest ever, you need a whole team around you. You need the culture, and that takes time. If I were betting, I'd bet on Mercedes. In the last 10 years, they have won the championship 7 or 8 times. Last year, they won 5 races. They have stability, and we know Toto likes him. And I think we all feel the high-performance powertrains is best equipped on the power unit side, heading into the new engine regulations next year. Plus, Russell is out of contract at the end of this season, and Antonelli will be on a series of one-year contracts. With all this in mind, do you think that Verstappen is going to bring a new silly season in 2026? And if so, do you think that Mercedes would be the team to get him to join their team? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to check out the video that's appearing on your screen right now.